if they were good or bad or whatever. And then they get born again as brand new babies in the world.
Why would they want to do that?
Because then they get another chance to get it right, I answered. Their souls get a chance to have a do-over. He thought about what I was saying and then nodded.
Kind of like when you get a makeup test,
He said,
right? But they don't come back looking the same,
he said.
I mean, they look completely different when they come back, right?
Oh, yeah, I answered. Your soul stays the same, but everything else is different.
I like that,
He said, nodding a lot.
I really like that, Summer. That means in my next life I won't be stuck with this face.
He pointed to his face when he said that and batted his eyes, which made me laugh. I guess not, I shrugged.
Hey, I might even be handsome.
He said, smiling.
That would be so awesome, wouldn't it? I could come back and be this good-looking dude and be super buff and super tall.
I laughed again. He was such a good sport about himself. That's one of the things I like the most about Augie. Hey, Augie, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
He said, like he knew exactly what I wanted to ask. I hesitated. I've been wanting to ask him this for a while, but I've always lost the guts to ask.
what?
He said,
You want to know what's wrong with my face?
yeah, I guess. If it's okay for me to ask. He shrugged. I was so relieved that he didn't seem mad or sad.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
He said casually.
The main thing I have is this thing called mandibulofacial dysostosis, which took me forever to learn how to pronounce, by the way. But I also have this other syndrome thing that I can't even pronounce. And these things kind of just morph together into one big super thing, which is so rare they don't even have a name for it. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm actually considered something of a medical wonder, you know?
He smiled.
That was a joke,
He said.
you can laugh.
I smiled and shook my head. You're funny, Augie, I said.
Yes, I am.
He said proudly.
I am Cool Beans.
The Egyptian tomb. Over the next month, August and I hung out a lot after school, either at his house or my house. August's parents even invited Mom and me over for dinner a couple of times. I overheard them talking about fixing Mom up on a blind date with August's Uncle Ben. On the day of the Egyptian Museum exhibit, we were all really excited and kind of giddy. It had snowed the day before. Not as much as it had snowed over the Thanksgiving break, but still, snow is snow. The gym was turned into a giant museum, with everyone's Egyptian artifact displayed on a table with a little caption card explaining what the thing was. Most of the artifacts were really great, but I have to say I really think mine and August's were the best. My sculpture, and I had even used real gold paint on it. And August had made his step pyramid out of sugar cubes. It was 2 feet high and 2 feet long, and he had spray painted the cubes with this kind of fake sand paint or something. It looked so awesome. We all dressed up in Egyptian costumes. Some of the kids were Indiana Jones type archaeologists. Some of them dressed up like pharaohs. August and I dressed up like mummies. Our faces were covered except for 2 little holes for the eyes and 1 little hole for the mouth. When the parents showed up, they all lined up in the hallway in front of the gym. Then we were told we could go get our parents, and each kid got to take his or her parent on a flashlight tour through the dark gym. August and I took our moms around together. We stopped at each exhibit, explaining what it was, talking in whispers, answering questions. Since it was dark, we used our flashlights to illuminate the artifacts while we were talking. Sometimes, for dramatic effect, we would hold the flashlights under our chins while we were explaining something in detail. It was so much fun, hearing all these whispers in the dark, seeing all the lights zigzagging around the dark room. At one point, I went over to get a drink at the water fountain. I had to take the mummy wrap off my face.
Hey, Summer.
Said Jack, who came over to talk to me. He was dressed like the man from The Mummy.
Cool costume.
Thanks.
Is the other mummy August?
Yeah,
Hey, do you know why August is mad at me?
uh-huh. I nodded.
Can you tell me?
No. He nodded. He seemed bummed. I told him I wouldn't tell you, I explained.
It's so weird.
He said,
I have no idea why he's mad at me all of a sudden. None. Can't you at least give me a hint?
I looked over at where August was across the room, talking to our moms. I wasn't about to break my solid oath that I wouldn't tell anyone about what he overheard at Halloween, but I felt bad for Jack. Bleeding screen, I whispered in his ear, and then walked away.
You.
Part 4. Jack. Now here is my secret. It is very simple. It is only with one's heart that one can see clearly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, The Little
This
Prince.
is from Jack Will's point of view. I like this part.
The call. So in August, my parents got this call from Mr. Tushman, the middle school director. And my mom said, maybe he calls all the new students to welcome them. And my dad said, that's a lot of kids he'd be calling. So my mom called him back, and I could hear her talking to Mr. Tushman on the phone. This is exactly what she said.
Hey guys,
Oh, hi, Mr. Tushman. This is Amanda Will returning your call.
boys.
Pause.
Yes,
Oh,
you are.
thank
And the words are
you.
here.
That's so nice of you to say. He's looking forward to it. Pause. Yes. Pause. Yeah. Pause. Oh, sure. Long pause. Oh, uh-huh. Pause. Oh, that's so nice of you to say. Pause. Sure. Oh, wow. Oh. Of course. I'm sure he will. Let me write it down. Got it. I'll call you after I've had a chance to talk to him, okay? Pause.
Oh.
You for thinking
Long
of
pause.
it. Bye. When she hung up, I was like, what's up? What did he say? And Mom said, well, it's actually very flattering, but kind of sad too. See, there's this boy who started middle school this year, and he's never been in a real school environment before because he was homeschooled. So Mr. Tushman talked to some of the lower school teachers to find out who they thought was some of the really great kids coming into 5th grade. And the teachers must have told him you were an especially nice kid, which I already knew, of course. And so Mr. Tushman is wondering if he could count on you to sort of
Okay,
shepherd
stop.
this new boy around a bit. Like, let him hang out with you, I said. Exactly, said Mom. He called it being a welcome buddy. But why me? I told you. Your teachers told Mr. Tushman that you were the kind of kid who's known for being a good egg. I mean, I'm so proud that they think so highly of you. Why is it sad? What do you mean? You said it's flattering, but kind of sad too. Oh. Mom, not. Well, apparently, this boy has some sort of, I guess there's something wrong with his face. Something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe he was in an accident. Mr. Tushman said he'd explain a bit more when you come to the school next week. School doesn't start till September. He wants you to meet this kid before school starts. Do I have to? Mom looked a bit surprised. No, of course not, she said. But it would be a nice thing to do, Jack. But if I don't have to do it, I said. I don't want to do it. Can you at least think about it? I'm thinking about it, and I don't want to do it. Well, I'm not going to force you, she said. But at least think about it some more, okay? I'm not calling Mr. Tushman back until tomorrow, so just sit with it a bit. I mean, Jack, I really don't think it's that much to ask that you spend a little extra time with some new kid. It's not just that he's a new kid, Mom, I answered. He's deformed. That's a terrible thing to say, Jack. He is, Mom. You don't even know who it is. Yeah, I do, I said. Because I knew the second she started talking about him, that it was that kid named August. Carvel. I remember seeing him for the first time.
Fucking God. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, I was like, did I just stop?
Wow.
Sounds Jamaican.
He's a hacker.
He's two. He's not a hacker.
I know, but he's still a hacker.
No, he's not. He's good. Way better than you.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he is a hacker. Like, some people think he is a hacker.
He's not. Dude. He's like actually really good. He's part of FaZe, dude. What do you think?
Did I tell you last night our brother's friend was over and he was in the way, the TV started right up and I needed money in my ass. He was on the right TV and knocked it over.
He's actually really good though. It's pretty good. Dude.
Oh. Oh.
How good he is. Holy shit.
I wonder what kind of PC he has.
Gaming. Obviously. Oh, he just roasted those kids so good.
Following
that's
students,
Coachy.
please come to the front office. Aaron Claywhite, McCartney Rod, Robert Eisenminger, Audrey Dove, Norris Summers,
It's Audrey
Caitlin
Dub, guys.
Jasper,
I think
Joyce
she has
Cisse,
Audrey Dubs.
Harrison Gibson,
They play with Nick at 30.
Tyler Stout, Tanner Brock, Cheyenne Thomas to the front office.
They literally took a clip from the Hunger Games. Honestly, they should.
Yes. That's Facebook. You know what it is? Cloaksy. Cloaksy.
Gypsy?
Cloaksy. Face cloaks. Oh, cloaks. Cloak. Oh, and then Tifu comes out with a hot carry. Ew. How the heck is he surviving this? There's just
That's not
16.
Jennifer Lawrence. Honestly, they should have been.
Oh, he hits those. Tifu's like the best player. No doubts about it. Because
Are we gonna have to read extra since we didn't read yesterday?
Why did you ask that, Bracket?
Cloaks, he's dead. But he's still gonna come out with a carry anyway. We're going for the kills. He's 14 kills right now by himself.
How's that possible?
What?
It's jump. It's a head jump. Look.
Oh,
That's a head jump.
he doesn't have a sniper. He only has a scar and a heavy shotgun. He needs a sniper. I just touch your mommies in the ass. Oh shit, he's good. It's running him down like a bitch. I like how we're just watching TV. Come on. Win this game, TV. Oh, shit, look at those kills. Add those up.
54 kills.
No, it does not 54 kills.
Yeah, 52 kills. That's what.
That's not all of it. Okay, so 15, 29, 40, 50 right now. He gets the last 3 kills though. 50 right? But he's gonna get the last 3 kills. So it's gonna be 53.
I'll watch it before.
Talent. Were you trying to kill him?
I wonder where they're at.
Country boy, I love you.
Ooh, fetus major wipe. Ooh, squad wipe. Ooh. What the fuck? No, bro, look at watch this. Watch that guy. The D4 that comes out. That one, watch him. Is he easy dub?
I said that, I was like, I'm a good boxer guy.
Oh, pickaxe his ass.
We're going to talk today about computers. Couple things.
Jesus.
Close your computer. We're going to continue. We're going to continue today with themes. I said here.
No one cares.
Show me your ready. Stop. Okay, we're going to continue with theme today. We know that the theme is the moral of the story, right? And we're going to talk about what it is and how it develops. So you did an awesome job with the Ugly Duckling. You gave the steps of the story, and you can see this is how the theme develops. Starts out with nothing, a blank slate, and then all of a sudden you have a duck who gets sad because he feels different from everybody.
You should go to some counseling.
And then all of a sudden he runs away because he feels terrible about himself. And then he comes back in the end and realizes, hey, I'm not ugly, and this girl loves me for who I am, and look how beautiful I am. What's the moral of that story? Don't let people's judgment of you bother yourself. And feel good about yourself no matter what you look like. There's so many different kind of morals that could have happened there. So, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not straight, so you can't make things
So that's the theme, and then how it develops. Because you're going to be asked, how does this theme develop? And then you're going to wish you weren't playing with people's hair and headbands because you're not going to know how the theme develops. So be sure you're listening because the theme develops by first this, then that. That's theme development. Okay? At the beginning, how the characters introduced to the theme of the story. And then came the part where you had to show. So that's where you kind of explain how the events connect to the theme. You can give evidence or an example to show it. Okay? He ran away. Why? Because he wanted to find another baby that looked like him. Step 3. In the middle of the story, how's he introduced to the theme? Explain why. Give textual evidence at the beginning. Do it at the middle. Do it at the end. How's the character introduced to the theme? Well, the theme we know is don't judge. We shouldn't judge people. Theme comes back and all of a sudden he's beautiful. So where's the example of why you shouldn't judge?
That's not how you do
Because
it.
he turned out he was perfect for somebody else. The other swan loved him for who he was. So you explain an event or a connection or an example on the show part. Okay, let's go to the next slide, and I want you to read this for a minute. You try it with the story of the thirsty cow. Go through, and if I were to say to you, how does the theme develop? You read that. How does the theme develop? So I'm going to ask you, what's the theme? And give you the 3 steps, beginning, middle, and end. Sorry, I said cow, it's a crow.
Oh.
Yeah, the thirsty crow, yeah, when you started reading that.
The thirsty.
Crow.
When I say a thirsty camp, do all of
Shut up.
Okay, who'd like to read this aloud? Go ahead, Ted.
One hot day, thirsty crows flew all over the field looking for water. For a long time, he could not find any. He felt very weak, almost lost all hope. Suddenly, he saw water running down the tree. He flew straight down to see if there was any water, he said. Yes, he could see some water inside the jug. The crow tried to put his head into the jug. Sadly, he found that the jug's neck was too narrow. Then he tried to push the jug toward the water to flow out of the jug, but the jug was too heavy. The crow thought hard for a while, then, looking around, he saw some pebbles. Suddenly, he had a good idea. He started picking up the pebbles one by one, dropping each into the jug. As more and more pebbles filled the jug, the water level kept rising. Soon, it was high enough for the crow to drink his brain and boat.
Perfect. Talking to your group, what do you think the theme of the story is?
You have to work for what you get.
Oh, you have to work for what you get. This is the worst stream ever. I'm covering up my camera. Wait, where would the audio be? Because I'm gonna cover up that too. Right there. Nobody can hear. Oh, look at my stream right now. That's my stream. None. It's a private one. I don't know if I told you, but it's a private. Because I just want to go back tomorrow and be like, or like tonight. Yeah, watch my from yesterday.
What's the theme of the story? Raise your hand. Matthew, what'd you guys decide?
You have to work to get what you want.
Work hard to get something that you want. Never give up.
Never give up.
Go ahead, Brett. Yeah, you think and persevere. Don't quit. Yeah. Yes. Good. There's always another way. What's another one? What'd you guys come up with? Oh. Okay. I'm sorry. Don't give up on yourself. Okay. What would have happened had he given up?
He would have died.
Died, right. So the moral of the story is never quit. Or if you want something bad enough, you got to work hard for it. Okay?
So,
There's several different things you could have done. Now let's look at the steps of the story. How did that theme develop? If we want to say, if you work hard enough, good things will happen. Let's go with that. If you work hard enough at something, good things will happen. What's the first step? Yes. Okay, so if you work hard enough, good things will happen. So we start with the first thing. A bird. The first step would be a bird lost hope because he needed water. So there's kind of the problem, right? That's the conflict. The middle part was what? Okay, so I don't know if we can really underline the part, but he found a jug and it didn't work. So let's say that. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to underline it because it's kind of simple. So we have a crow who needs water and flying around and can't find it. So suddenly he finds it. He's gonna die if he doesn't. He finds the jug, but it doesn't work. So there now's our huge problem. So what is the solution for it in the end? He starts dropping them in one by one, the water rises, and he drinks. Right? So do you see how that theme developed? We've got here's the issue. Here's what he tried and it didn't work. That's kind of the conflict. He kept trying, and since he kept trying, there's the moral of the story. If you keep trying, good things will happen. Okay? So that's how we say, when I say to you, how does the theme develop? You look at the beginning, the middle, and the end. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm gonna give you a choice. Do you want to have an assignment to get 5 points for this and say, right now, what the theme, beginning, middle, and end is? Or do you think you understand it well enough and you're ready to do your lit circles? Who needs more work with theme?
Litty circle.
Everybody's good with it, are you sure?
Yes.
Talk amongst your group. Do you understand it? Tell me. Okay, anybody who's not getting it? Everybody? Okay, I think so too, so let's not kill this. All right, you have the rest of the time, which is until, you have about a half an hour, and you have plenty of reading to do, and we didn't get much time. So yesterday, yesterday's, and I think I told some kids that you didn't have yesterday's. You do, I apologize. You have a lot of reading to do today. Yes, you will. You have a half an hour. Listen to me. Don't worry about questions.
Like 25.
No questions today. Please read Wednesday and Thursday's pages. You can do it. Yes. Don't worry about the questions. You can move around the room. Be comfortable and just read your tails off. Go.
You know where we should sit? Just to annoy people? Thank you. You have to go to.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Why was your book?
Whoa. Are you listening to music?
Yeah.
Can't. Alita. Wait, so we can get comfortable. What if comfortable means listen to music? Like, fat. I know some music. Listen to some music. Oh, fuck me, dude. I don't even have fucking earbuds in here. What the fuck are my earbuds? What, are you kidding me? I had earbuds in here. Somebody took them out or something. Oh, Jesus. I don't feel like doing this anymore. Wait, what pages do we do? What pages? Okay, 16.
$62.
You still have 15 minutes, so keep reading.
In about 5 minutes, try to get finished.
Try like this.
You're bullying me for stealing
But did she get the card too?